I'm speaking with none other than Miss Angie Stone. Angie, welcome to Fayetteville.
What's up, girl?
I am feeling like sunshine up in here, and I'm glad that I get the opportunity to talk to you before the show takes place on September the 4th.
Absolutely.
We're all excited and very anxious to see you. And before we talk about your music and the show, I want to kind of take you back to Charlotte, North Carolina. I know a lot of people are like, well, do you remember me? And y'all are like, Lord, are they really? Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go there. You came to the studio, and at that time, we talked about natural hair a little bit. I was just like rocking my little nappy fro, and you made mention.
Yeah. You still rocking it?
It is now in lock, so the fro is gone. I miss it sometimes.
Okay. But well, you know what? I started to lock my hair up, and then I said, I'm not going to do it because I got to be really ready to stay with that for the rest of my life because I don't want to have to cut all my hair off just to start over, you know?
Well, you know what? We're not going to make this a hair care show, but I do want you to just keep in the back of your mind, you can pick your locks back out. It's just matted hair.
Oh.
Just keep that in the back of your mind. Mm-hmm.
But do you know how long that would take?
A long time, indeed.
Strand by strand by strand to pull all of that out. Yeah, I understand. You remember, the word lock means lock. When you have to unlock something, it's difficult. You often need a locksmith. You feel me?
Oh, indeed. So I know you do like a little extra little add in here and there. Are you natural now, like beneath, if you will?
Oh, yeah. I haven't had a perm in my hair in 18, 20 years.
So when you come here on the 4th, when we see you step out onto the stage, like what's your flow right now, your swag? What are we going to say?
A short, sassy cut.
All right. I'm not mad. Okay.
Short, sassy cut that, you know, for the love of my natural hair. You see, one thing you can't do when you're traveling abroad like this, unless the best thing would be to go natural, because to go any place that you want to go, you have to, you know, add hair in, take hair out, because the damage that would be done to hair that had to be heated all the time and curled and, you know, chemicals, and you're not in a place where you can actually condition and do all the stuff that you would need to protect that kind of hair. They're hard for an artist. So most artists you see that aren't natural, they're generally rocking a weave or a wig.
I got
and it's okay.
Mm-hmm. And then outside of I guess the physical appearance, Angie, did I see you? What was that show? And it's not the reality show that you think I'm about to talk about. It was way back. The sergeant was on there where you guys were trying to lose weight and stuff.
Oh, you're talking about the very first reality show. What was it? Celebrity Fit Club.
So, like, that experience for you, when you look back on it now, do you see it in a different light? Because it looked like you was just like, I am not feeling this right about now.
No, because, you know, that was my first taste of what reality was and how they edited shows to make them look dramatic in the way that they were when I was really losing a lot of weight. In my opinion at the time, it's just that they were going in areas that I just did not feel comfortable in. You cannot take me up to 110-degree weather in a snake field, and you got snake ranges that the TV folk can't see because there's snakes all over the place.
Oh my God.
Yes, I'm going to cry. I'm not going back down through that, because once I get bit by a snake, I can't depend on another person to run and help me when they're running from the snakes too. Okay?
Yes, and I will say,
oh, you know,
we were. Know about
I think I got called a B word and everything but nobody knew there were snake rangers. There were 6 snake rangers on the sides of each, or 3 on each side. As you very well know, there was over 7 or 8 contestants, and everybody was trotting up a hill of 110-degree weather. When you got to the bottom, all you saw were like little itty-bitty dead snakes all over the place. So you knew it was, they tell you it was snake land. And this was a place where they had their babies and they did their business. And we were walking through brush. So it was not like a line you could see. You know, when you're walking through the woods, when you grow up, they done made a trail. This was not a trail. We're walking through brush. And I just was not having it. I was having heart palpitations. And I don't do snakes, honey. Spiders, none of that.
Well, that show sounded traumatic. I tell you that much, because we definitely didn't get
traumatic.
To see that.
It was traumatic, and I didn't care what they called me. They could have called me everything. Just get me back down to that bottom, to that bus safe.
Oh my goodness, comedy.
You see, Do you see I waited on the car to give me a ride back, right? If you really remember the show I did, I got up where I could see everything around me, and I waited for a ride.
Yeah, and then when you say the editing, they do make it look like Angie's just not trying to participate with us.
Cooperating. And I'm like, okay, tell the whole story. I didn't care whether they told it or not. All I know is I don't have a date with any snakes, and I don't want a date with snakes.
And I'm going to put that on Twitter. That's your quote. And, speaking of Twitter, I know on your Twitter account you have, like, a lot of positive, inspirational quotes. In your mind, what would be one that most fits your life, I guess? And that may be kind of hard for you right now. But what's one that you would like to share with us?
To whom much is given, much is required.
Okay.
That is clearly something that I live by. But I also know that the quote that's most present day is spiritual warfare in its own and popping.
Now, Angie, now let's go with the music. And I'm flipping your different songs in the background. We're playing No More Rain right now. What was the inspiration for this?
My son.
Oh, okay.
And I think a lot of people got it twisted and was trying to figure out what was this, what was that. My dad coined the phrase, no more rain in this cloud. But that came as a result of, when something great happens out of something that's supposed to be disastrous. God says that when the devil meant it for evil, God meant it for good. That was what the birth of Michael was to me, because so many people in the industry had really given D'Angelo and I the boot and put so much pressure on that relationship. But out of that, came a child that we both knew belonged to both of us, and that it came from a spirit of love, and nobody could say anything after that. It didn't matter what they said after that.
I know that's, and Angie, probably off mic and when we're off the air, I'm going to tell you something too on that page. All right, my story. But so back to the concert, September 4th at the Crown Complex. You're on stage with Anthony Hamilton. From what I understand, he enjoys you. He appreciates you as a person. So you guys have like great chemistry. So
oh yeah, because you got to remember, Anthony and I are from the same neck of the woods. He's from Charlotte. I'm from Columbia. We were the dark-skinned, full-lip sister and brother team from another mother. I'm going to say we were cut from the cloth that weren't supposed to make it because we didn't fit the mold. Yet we know how to break the mold, because the stuff that we read up on, which is our spiritual growth, is kindred spirits. So when we get in this space, we own that space, and we have such a good time. His people that are on stage with him are awesome. And in the beginning, I used to close for Anthony. Now Anthony closes for me. When we did the Silk and Sandpaper tour, I had been out a good while before Anthony came out with his solo album. And I said, let's do something to show our people that we can work together no matter what. So Anthony and I went on a tour, and we took the same amount of stage time, and we took the same pay. Because it wasn't about who was out here was the longest. It was us showing how strong we are together when we combine our spirits and our mind and our music, that we can show people that we can tour together and we can win. And it's not about the money. It's not about anything. When they started to pull, and this is not Anthony and I, this is definitely, the powers that be. But when they started pulling rank and saying, well, your record's hot right now, you should do this, they kind of tried to separate that. But the core of us was still the same, and I think that's why we can come full circle and know now, because I'm sure he's seen a lot, and so have I, of what the real world is about, what this real thing is about. And that's why it's not my complete life anymore. It's a part of my life, but the bigger part reigns with the Creator, and that's that.
Man, Angie, I'm loving you. We are definitely anticipating you on stage. As for your music, like what people should be checking for in the coming days, what's going on with you there?
Well, the album's coming out, like I said, in November, and the single's dropping. But I would say in the near future, a gospel album definitely is on my horizons, and trying to really get my feet wet into ministry. That's, at my age, that's where I'm going.
I'm not mad at that. Full circle, as they say, and as you say.
Full circle, absolutely.
All right. Well, Angie, It's definitely been a pleasure talking to you today.
Likewise, I can't wait to see you again with your locks.
Listen, and if you're willing to be a little adventurous, you can let me get up under there, and I can start them locks for you, girl, backstage. I'm just saying.
Oh, girl, child, you would have to untake, unravel, unsew, and everything else. Flip cut, to get up under there. But we'll talk about a rain check on that.
All right, Angela, you going to leave me alone with that.
Oh, no, I ain't worried about it now, because guess what? I ain't scared, okay?
All right, Angie, peace and blessings and continued success and all that jazz. And final words
Thank you so much.
What would you like to tell our city, just final words, as we count down the days to your arrival?
I would just say be there or be square.
Angie Stone on Magic 106.9.
I'm here for you forever true, 'cause you're my black brother, strong brother, and there is no one above you.